So we studied before that about those privilege levels. Let's see what's about the privilege levels. So privilege levels are used by default to restrict and control access to commands. So based on the privilege level which the user is going to get assigned, he's going to get access to specific commands on the router. So the privilege level, as we were speaking before, is going to be assigned to the user through exec authorization. And of course, if for example, as you're going to see, if the user connects, authenticate, and through exec authorization is going to get access to privilege level, let's say 5, then he can optionally get access to a higher privilege level like 15 by using the enable authentication method. Because as from the previous slides, to get to privilege mode, then you need to perform enable authentication. Different privilege levels on the routers. So all commands, the router has 3 privilege levels by default. So all commands are going to be all commands on a router or on a switch are going to be accessible to one of those 3 privilege levels. So privilege level 0 means no access at all, which means pretty much there are no commands assigned by default to privilege level 0. But then we have 2 other privilege levels, which is privilege level 1, which is known as user mode, and privilege level 15, which is known as enable or privileged mode access. And optionally, you can define other privilege levels between 2 and 14. Those are available for assignment. By default, the RS router doesn't make use of those privilege levels of 2 to 14, only of 0, 1, and 15. And now, as I was saying, each command that's available on a router has a default privilege level assigned by the iOS, and that's going to be either privilege level of 1 or 15. So all commands by default have a level of 1 or 15 assigned. Of course, the command privilege level, like if a specific command like router or SPF it's available at privilege level 15, I can change that around and make it available at privilege level 1 or 2 or 4. So the default privilege level at which a command is accessible can be changed manually per command through configuration, of course. Now, for example, for a user to get access to a level 5 command, which by default there's no command associated with level 5, but let's assume there's a command which has a level of 5 assigned, a privilege level of 5 assigned. Then for the user to get access to that command, it needs a minimum privilege level of 5 assigned to its session. So what that means is that when I connect to the router, I authenticate, I get authorized, and if my current privilege level is going to be 6 or let's say 7, then I'm going to get access to all commands that have a privilege level assigned of 0 to 7. But I'm not going to be able to get access to commands that have a privilege level of 8 to 15. And hopefully that makes sense. Now, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to do the following example in here. Look at the diagram. Like I'm going to be using, for example, test PC A as the supplicant or the end user, where this guy is going to connect to router 3 to manage it via whatever, tenant or SSH, doesn't matter. And then 3, let's say SSH. And then 3 is going to validate the user's credentials via TechX Plus with ACS. So that's going to be my setup. And on router 3, I'm going to perform both authentication, authorization, and accounting via TechX Plus server, which is going to be my access control system server. As I was saying at the beginning of this class, this is going to be a lot of theory and explanations and a couple of examples as well with the most important topics. But otherwise, if you want more examples and more Q&A, let's say more Q&A section, more questions being answered and question in there, then you can go ahead and watch the CCNA Security Bootcamp, which has already been done and recorded, and it's available in our course library.